Hey, it's David Perdue here from mynams.com and the Novice to Advanced Marketing System. You guys are in for a treat is what you're in for. So I'm delighted to introduce people from my list to Daniel Hall. You probably know Daniel already since he spoke so many times at the NAMS workshops and did such a great job. He was one of our favorite speakers there because he was somebody who would deliver, always delivered, and it was a lot of fun to get him there. Daniel, I really appreciate you doing that all those times that you did that. And we've also got John Kramer on the phone today. John is somebody that I met a few years ago at Ken MacArthur's JV Alert back before it became I think it was the last one before it became the Impact event. And John was just a real sweetheart of a man. And I love hanging with people who are always looking for ways to help other folks. And John was one of those, obviously, really quickly. So I got two great guys on here, and they're going to teach us today with a case study about how John particularly drove over 168,000 clicks to his website on Pinterest using just one graphic. Now, he told me before the call that it's not just one graphic, it's many graphics he's doing this with, and it is a repeatable process. So John's going to give us a new look at a tried and true traffic method using Pinterest, which is, as he also told me, one of the best buying platforms out there. So, you know, hang in here. You're going to see something really interesting today. Take a look at this. And you guys, again, welcome and thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I just want to make sure that that folks can hear us okay. Some folks are saying, is there any sound? If you could hear the sound of our voice, just let us know in the chat. We are live right now. Okay, cool. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate that. All right. Thanks, Jen. Appreciate it. Amy, Chris. Oh, all right. Wonderful. Okay, so thank you, David. I really appreciate you taking the time to put such a fine group together. You know, of all the conferences and all the events that I have the privilege and the honor to go speak at, I've always enjoyed NAMS the best. And the reason that is because of you and the fact that you make that that whole community more like a family. And that's just a reflection of you and the way you do things, David. So there's definitely a mutual admiration going on here. So thanks to you. All right, so I'm really excited about what we're going to be teaching here today. And what the deal is we're going to show you how to get your piece of the $11 billion a year share economy. And specifically what we're going to be talking about today is how to cash in and actually make money with what I call peer-to-peer social tokens. And we'll define that in a moment. And in today's presentation and sort of doing this part and parcel with it, we're actually going to be covering a somewhat controversial case study on how John Kramer drove over 168,000 clicks to one of his websites with just one graphic. Now, we've done this many times with different graphics, but that just happens to be the best one we've got going at the moment. In fact, it's far better than 168,000 as of today. But that's what we're going to cover in today's presentation. And I do run a very engaging show. So we're going to be, you and I, talking back and forth. So you need to familiarize yourself kind of with where to do that. There's a little white arrow and a red rectangular box immediately adjacent to this little screen that you are now watching from. And if you kind of mouse over that, click on it, open it up, just type in there, found it, so that I know that you know how to communicate with us, and do that right now. That would really, really appreciate that. Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much, Marcella and Brian and Kim and Chaletta and Roger and Rick. Excellent. All right, cool. So a bit about who we are. If you don't know, we got a little introduction from David, but this is me. My name is Daniel Hall. I'm a best-selling author, speaker, publisher, nurse, attorney, and podcaster. Yes, I am both a nurse and an attorney. Fortunately, I don't have to do either one of those two things to make my living these days, because about 10 years ago, I started my own publishing company called the Real Fast brand. So we publish all kinds of highly popular Real Fast branded training products, mostly for our community, for folks just like you. But I'm mostly the MC. I'm going to do a little training today, but mostly the MC. The star of the show is this man right here, my good buddy and partner John Kramer, and John is an expert in book publishing and just marketing in general. You may have heard about him from his, really the Bible of the industry, from his book called 1,001 Ways to Market Your Books. He is known as the grandfather of book marketing, and the really cool thing about John, and one of the things you'll learn about in today's presentation, is he's really good at helping other folks to share their message. In fact, he has worked with some of the biggest names in the business. Folks like Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen credit John with the super success of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. And even Stephen Covey said John Kramer was instrumental to our success in making the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People one of the 2 most influential business books of the 20th century. So you're probably saying, well, that's all well and good for John Kramer. What the heck does it have to do with me? Well, here's what it has to do with. Here's how it applies to you. He's the kind of guy that can show you how to essentially do the same. And that's what this is all about. So if you've never been on a webinar with John or I before, all I can say is get ready, okay? There's going to be lots of immediately usable details, lots of wrinkles and some subtleties that you're not going to want to miss. So please turn off any distractions that you might have, your Facebook, your email, your telephone, whatever might distract you. Please turn that off right now, okay? We have a deal on that? Excellent. All right. So I like to start off this presentation so that we can kind of tailor it to you. The live audience that's here right now. So I would like for you to do this for me right now in the chat. Let me know what you are currently selling. Any books that you might be selling, any Kindle books. We definitely would like to see any Kindle books if you have them. Any physical products, any affiliate offers. Do you have an Amazon listing that you would like to share with us, or an Etsy or an eBay seller store? Something along those lines would be really great if you can get even a link to it in the chat right now. And let me tell you why that might be a big doggone deal for you, because we're going to choose one of you to actually set up a passive income revenue stream right before your eyes, and it's going to be yours to keep for free. So we're going to incentivize this for you. So you definitely want to get that link into the chat right now, and it also kind of gives us an idea of what kinds of things that you are wanting to sell online, or you currently are selling online. Okay, so as long as you have your your pencils warmed up, let me ask you this. How are your sales going? How are they going? Let me know by putting a 1 in the chat if your sales could be better. They just could be better. I won't put it any other way. Just they could be better. Put a 2 in the chat if you're seeing sales. You're generating sales, but you'd like to see them increase. And put a 3 in the chat if you're just doing great guns and you're happy with your level of sales and you don't need any more sales. Let me know in the chat, and I see lots of 1s, some 0s, couple 2s. Okay, excellent. Very, very good. Thank you so much for that. All right. Again, that helps us to tailor and customize this presentation to what you all need. Thank you for that. And for those of you that have answered either a 0, a 1, or a 2, you probably realize that the biggest problem that you face, your fundamental problem, as it were, is there's not enough people seeing your offers. There's just not enough attention, not enough attraction. There's not enough momentum for your offers. And if you can get that, then things could be different, right? That's really what's truly going on for most of us. I think we can all pretty much agree to that. But let me ask you this question, and this is a straight up legitimate question that I would really like you to answer in the chat. If you had an automatic demand, an instant momentum for your offers, do you think that would help you? Do you think that would help increase the sales to your offers? Let me know in the chat. Say just yes or no if that's if you think that that would be a good thing for you. Oh, sure, says Ann. Heck yes, says Kim. Okay, absolutely would do it. All right, cool. Thank you, Scott, and Greg. Excellent. All right, cool. So here's the thing. The solution is in harnessing what I call the share economy. The share economy. That's really what this presentation is all about. And I wanted to give you some examples of what I mean when I say the share economy. First off, let's talk about how they're characterized. It's characterized by peer-to-peer help and service. Peer-to-peer help and service. And here are some examples of companies that are participating in the share economy, or services like Uber and Airbnb and Lyft and all the rest of these. And let me just ask you to answer in the chat for me. Have you either used one of these services or know of a friend or family who has? Absolutely, says Rick. Okay, cool. Yes. All right. Awesome. Very, very nice. Okay, so we're all kind of familiar with the general concept of what the share economy or peer-to-peer help is, right? Usually the most often cited examples are Uber and Airbnb. But here's the thing. You would think, once you kind of understand the whole sharing thing, that there are social platforms that participate in the share economy, or at least that's what most of us think. But for the most part, it's not that way. I mean, if we were to look at a social platform like Facebook and Instagram, in order to get any significant exposure for our ads, our posts, our links, we must pay. We must pony up some money, and it's a definite pay-to-play environment. All right, so that kind of means you're not really sharing. You're basically paying. So that doesn't really work. And then we can look at Twitter. Now, Twitter, you're saying, well, yeah, you could share with Twitter. They like you to do that. They have what's called a retweet, or a WT, as you see here. But here's the problem with Twitter. The half-life of a tweet is only 24 minutes. Okay, and that means that only that half the people that will ever see your tweet will see it in the first 24 minutes, and then it basically falls off the face of the planet. And a big problem, in addition to the short half-life on Twitter, is that your tweets are only broadcast to your followers. So if you have, not a lot of followers on Twitter, even at that, you're still not going to get a lot of folks seeing your offer or seeing your link. So for the most part, it's not worth sharing, unless you're constantly on Twitter, okay, or you have a huge following, which most of us don't. So let's face it, right? And then, of course, there's LinkedIn. You could share content on LinkedIn. There's no doubt about that. But for the most part, once again, it's either shared within professional groups or only your connections, right? And in other words, it doesn't go after everyone on Facebook, or for that matter, Twitter. If you do a tweet, not everyone on Twitter gets to see your tweet. But see, the really cool thing is that there's only one, what I would consider to be only one social platform that is bona fide a part of the share economy, and that is Pinterest, okay? And the reason why is this. Any post that you make can be seen by all Pinterest users. And this is a really important point, can be easily found. Whatever you post to Pinterest can be easily found even years later, okay? That is powerful. Try to go look for a tweet that you posted last week. Good luck finding that, right? It's gone pretty much forever. And the other really cool thing about Pinterest is this environment of sharing is really the backbone of what is so cool about Pinterest and why people love it. It's actually a part of the culture of Pinterest to share. And on Pinterest, it's called repinning, and I'll explain that here in just a second. But that is why Pinterest is where the smart money, the really, really savvy marketers go for free traffic, okay? For free buyer traffic that is niched to a specific interest, the market that you serve, okay? Super important that you understand that. So let me ask you this. Now that I've kind of explained Pinterest a little bit, are you currently on Pinterest right now? Let me know in the chat if you are or if you're not. So lots of yeses, nos, some yeses, some nos, lots more nos now. Okay, cool. Anne Marie says yes, largest traffic source, hot dog. Then you know what we're talking about, Anne Marie. Exactly. Awesome. Thank you for that. Cool. So let me just briefly, for those of you that have put no here for us, let me just briefly explain what Pinterest is all about. Essentially, it's like an online bulletin board, mostly for sharing and collecting visual pieces of multimedia, and mostly they're images. You can put videos, you can put animated GIFs, but mostly they're static images. Now, the really crucial thing that that you need to understand about Pinterest and what makes it so different is that people use Pinterest to discover. That's the operative word. To discover and save new ideas, right? And these ideas can take lots of forms. They could be recipes, they could be DIY projects. I like sports cars, for example. I like Caribbean vacations, for example. They could be the perfect pair of shoes. They could be baby clothes. It could be anything. Because on Pinterest, this is a key that, and one of the reasons why it works so well for niche marketers like you and I, is you could set up a board on specific niches, right? Specific areas of interest. So everything on a board could be, you know, African violets, if you're into African violets. Everything on the board could be, you know, fashion eyewear, for example. Okay, if you're into that sort of thing, if that's your thing. Now, here's the other cool thing about it. Every idea is represented by a pin. Now, you might be saying, well, what's a pin, Daniel? Well, when I say the word pin, I really want you to think image. Image. An image is a pin is an image. All right. So that's the really crucial thing there to understand, is that really, because this is a image-based social platform, it's a lot of fun to interact with. It's a lot of fun to look at. And that's one of the reasons why people love it so much. Now, the really cool thing here from a marketing standpoint, I have it underlined here in red for you, is this crucial thing, that there is a link that you can attach to your image that allows people to click on your image on Pinterest, and you send them wherever you want them to go. Okay, that's really cool. And when people click on pins, again, images, when they click on that URL, they can find out more about that idea and, of course, then act on it. So what I'd like to do now is to very, very quickly show you Pinterest and how I would go about pinning and repinning a board or something from the board. So here I am on my Pinterest account, and as I said, I kind of like sports cars and really nice cars here, particularly the new body style of the Corvette. I think it's a very, very pretty car. So So here I am. Pinterest basically just gave me, it populated things based on my past searches and what I've pinned before. So I pin a lot of cars. I like cars and whatnot, right? So let's say that I want to pin this image. This is, again, why this is so crucial that you understand. I'm going to act like a normal Pinterest user, not a marketer, just a normal Pinterest user interacting here with my homepage. And I like this pin. Money can't buy happiness, but I could buy a Corvette, and nobody ever said whatever is sad about driving a Corvette. Love that. Cool. So let's pin this. I'm going to save it. This is what's known as a repin. I'm repinning something that's already existing here, and I'm going to pin it over here to My Dream Cars. So this is my board called My Dream Cars, and we're going to pin it right like that. And there just went over there. Okay. So that's repinning. That's repinning. So let me show you how to pin an original pin. Now I'm going to come back over here to one of my blogs called danielhall.name here and show you how you could pin from a blog. So right here I have an article that says top 3 tips to write much faster. Okay. So let's say that I'm on somebody else's website. Maybe I'm on my own blog and I want to pin an image. Well, that's pretty easy to do. What you're going to do is you're going to come over to where there's a little pin, little P, and it says save. We're going to click that. And it's going to actually bring up, if I can get it to come up, there we go, our little choose a board. So it's actually going to allow us to pin from our sites, okay, your blog or somebody else's blog or Amazon or anywhere else for that matter, and pin it to a related board on Pinterest. So here I have a board about writing tips. So let me find out here. We're going to put it on this board here, sharing writing tips, and we're going to save it. But before I do that, I want you to notice right down here, there's this little edit, a little pencil kind of thing where you could actually edit this. And I could put in, more of a description and put in a link there if I want to. But I'm not going to do any of that because I'm just acting like a normal, usual Pinterest user. And let me just go ahead and save that bad boy to that board. Okay. So that's working right now. And that's going to save to the sharing writing tips board. All right. So that's essentially how you pin and repin to Pinterest. All right, so let me go back to the presentation here, and we're now going to go into the next big point that I want to make here is that Pinterest is the only platform. This is a really important point. The only platform that encourages users to organize boards dedicated to niches that people are actually interested in. Right? Just like I showed you, I have a board called My Dream Cars. Okay, that could have easily been, my dream Porsches, for example. It could be that super niche down, and that is really a great thing again for niched marketers like us, because that's where the buyers of our stuff go, to boards related to our that are named whatever it is our niche is all about, which is really cool because it then puts it all into a very visually stimulating and fun to browse platform like you just saw, right? And it also makes it easy to add clickable links anywhere you want them to go. And as you could tell, it actively encourages users to share pins and repins, and those could be linked to any offer that you have out there. All right. And that is really a very cool thing. In fact, it could generate, and has for John here, generated clicks for years. In fact, I think this graphic really strongly explains exactly what you do to make money on Pinterest. Essentially, so this is you. Let's pretend, let's imagine that this is you, and you put your pin up just like I just did. You put your pin up, and it's on an area of interest that these people are interested in. So they find your pin, and we'll talk more about that in a second, but they end up repinning your pin. And then the people that these people follow, they actually repin the repins, and on it goes, right? And the beautiful thing is this should just, let me ask you, does this make you super happy when you understand that all of these pins get clicks back to you, so you get more eyeballs on your offers, get that instant momentum, that instant demand, and of course you make money along the way. And get this, it is a set it and forget it proposition. It's truly an autopilot proposition. Let me know, does that excite you? Do you see yourself using this in your business? You see how this could help you in your business? Let me know in the chat. That would be an awesome thing.
So Daniel.
Yes, sir.
This is getting me very excited because we have about, and I just noticed it on one of your boards there, we have about 25 or 30 original infographics for different topics that we've done nothing with on Pinterest. And, you know, I'm really excited to see that we could actually create these and get them shared a lot, because that's what we're creating these graphics for.
And again, the really crucial thing that's so nice about this is your link follows any of that, you know, anything that gets pinned or repinned, and you can make that link whatever you want. Okay, so you get this exponential growth potentially, and we'll show you that. And but again, that's why this thing works so doggone well. And keep in mind that the pin doesn't go away. It lasts on Pinterest. So if for example, if I'm interested in white Corvettes and I find somebody's white Corvette board, I could scroll down to the very first pin that person pinned on that board and repin it, and it might have been 7 years ago. Okay, that pin was initially put on that board. That's the power of Pinterest. It's cumulative, right? You can keep building links more and more over the years, and that's a beautiful thing, obviously. And of course, the whole thing makes sense because the average pin, according to Shopify, the average pin is repinned 11 times. And we'll show you in just a second that this is just the average. You could do, by following what we teach within Real Fast Social Graphics, you could do a lot better than just 11 times. But I want to bring John on to kind of take us through his case study on how he drove so many clicks with just one arguably not too pretty graphic. John, can you take us through that?
Yeah, Daniel. Back in 2012, when I first started with Pinterest, I noticed coming through my timeline this graphic, the black and white graphic, simple, the skinny rules, and I said, well, I like those skinny rules. It's based on a book by Bob Harper, who at that time was part of the Biggest Loser on NBC. And I said, wow, that's kind of ugly. Let's make it a little bit prettier. So what I did is I put a pink border around it. And that was my graphic talent at the time. And the neat thing is that particular graphic, when I repinned it, I blogged about it and repinned it, I got 50,000 people repinning it in the first month. And I'm going, wow, that's so ugly. Can I make it better and get more pins? And so I created this graphic with using the colors of the actual book cover so that it's much more attractive than the two on the left. And that's the graphic that's got over 1.4 million repins and has driven 168,424 website visits to one of my websites. I've also pinned it to, another website and it's got an 8,000. So that was just recently. So it generates a lot of traffic. And by now, it's probably had somewhere around 2.3 million repins. I'm only guessing because back in the old days, Pinterest would tell us the numbers, but then they said, whoa, how are we going to sell advertising if we let people know how incredible their organic reach is? And so they dropped that particular stat. They give you other stats if you have a business account, and we show you how to do that. But the thing is, the incredible value is the power of a pin to last forever. I'm still getting traffic to my website 5 years after I originally pinned that Bob Harper graphic. You can see, and Daniel said, the half-life of a tweet is 24 minutes. The half-life of a Facebook post is 90 minutes. That means half the people that will see your post on Facebook will see it in the first 90 minutes. But the half-life of a Pinterest pin is 3.5 months. That means half the people will see it in the first 3.5 months. That's 2,000 times longer than Facebook, 6,000 times longer than Twitter in terms of the life of a pin. And in my own experience, pins last forever. I mean, they just go on and on and on. I mean, I'm still getting traffic from pins I did 5 years ago. And so Pinterest pins.
Hey, John, just one thing. When you go back to your, you don't have to go back there. I just want to point it out. The pin that you use, which is getting all that traffic, also shows the power of good quality information and list.
Yes,
right?
and Twitter, I mean, actually Pinterest people love tips. They love how-to stuff. And if you can put it into what I call a typographic, very, very simple, and we'll show you the difference between this typographic and the typical infographic. So we'll show that in a few minutes. But the key thing is people click through on pins and repins at an astounding rate. In my experience, anywhere from 2% to 25% of the people who see a pin will actually click through to your website, to the link that you add to your pin, so that people are ready and willing to visit your sales pages, your information pages, your sign-up pages for email lists and things like that. So it can be an incredibly effective way to drive potential buyers to your, and passionate buyers to your website and your sales pages.
Exactly. And
now,
on this one, I just wanted to say, I mean, these are some graphics, and John's going to explain in just a second, but I want you to notice, perhaps, just how basic they are. Okay, you know, can you do this? Go ahead, John. I want folks to understand that.
Yeah, and these, because I'm a writer, I actually created the three on the right in Microsoft Word because that's what I knew. And then I used the screen capture program to capture the image. So it's real simple, but we show you multiple ways to create these kind of graphics, but you see how simple they are. You can make these in 5 or 10 minutes, and they drive traffic. As you can see, after 2 years, 107,000 repins, et cetera, et cetera. So there was a lot of traffic. And now, 3 years later, there's additional traffic to these pins. This is the number of visits that have come to my website in the last 3 years from these pins I did 4 or 5 years ago. 66,726 visits on autopilot. I mean, I haven't repinned them. You know, they're just there, and people keep repinning them themselves, and that's what drives that traffic. So it just sits there until people discover it on Pinterest and they click through to my website. Yeah, that's almost 67,000 people in 3 years on automatic. Here's another
for that on Facebook. You know?
Yeah, and you can't do it on Facebook. You know, how long does a tweet last? You know, it doesn't happen. And Pinterest is designed to make that happen. Here's a post I did. This is a quote graphic. You know, just a quote with placed that made as a graphic. And I just wanted to show you this because I wanted to show you how quickly things can happen on Pinterest. In 10 hours after pinning this image, I had 15 repins. And more important, I had 266 people that repinned it from the people that repinned it directly from my account. So
it can
that's
happen
how
very
quickly.
It can happen very fast. That's kind of the point, right, John?
Yes, it can happen very fast. And you'll see it. Some pins work really well, some don't. But you can test, you'll find out which pins work really well. In my experience, there's, two kinds of pins that work really well, and we'll share those in a few minutes. But I wanted to show you a quote from one of our people that have taken the course, and she said, "My Pinterest and Twitter followers have exploded since I started this program, as well as the visits to my blog and website." And that's just from somebody that's, an ordinary person. She's a book author, and she's just really, really happy with the number of people that are now coming to her blog and to her website. And this is part of the power of the Pinterest share economy as a peer-to-peer social media platform. It really does make a difference. And now I want to talk to you a little bit about the primary audience on Pinterest is women. The people that are most active on Pinterest, about 80% of the people who are really active on Pinterest are women. So if you have a product for women, you are golden. It doesn't mean men don't do it and men don't repin, but 80% of the repins, the interaction, are going to happen with women. And what they love most is what I call the 6 F's of Pinterest: fitness, food, fashion, family, funny, and anything to do with cute animals. But they also like inspiration, motivation, design, home decor, recipes, crafts, hobbies, beautiful homes, travel, and more. So it doesn't matter what your topic is, but the key thing is to think that when you're pinning something, can I make it of interest to women? Because that will be very powerful. Unless, of course, your target audience is only men, then you post cars and tech and stuff like that, because that's what Daniel's interested in.
That's what I like. That's what I like. I'm on Pinterest.
And he pins and he repins. And yeah, I do too.
Absolutely. So let's take folks on how to show them exactly how money is actually made using Pinterest.
Yeah, and the key thing there is that people that use Pinterest are using it to discover new things. So they browse through their timeline or suggested pins that the Pinterest says, hey, you were interested in cars, here's some more cars. And so they're encouraging you to repin good stuff. And sometimes the people that browse through, they find something they like and or content that intrigues them, so they pin it to one of their own boards. And on Pinterest, again, you can create what are called boards. These are like just special interest sections that you create on your own. So you can say, I love dogs, so I'm going to have an I love dogs board. Or I'm going to have beautiful places I want to travel to board. And so you click, you might repin the image. But sometimes, and often, in fact, they will actually click on the image without necessarily repinning and end up at your website to check out your product, your service, or the resources that they're interested in. And if it's something that they're really interested in, they'll buy right then. They'll buy the gift. They'll buy the opportunity. They'll find out who carries that car. They'll find travel services that can help them to travel to the countries they want to travel to. People create wish lists and bucket lists and shopping lists on Pinterest. And so sometimes they'll just save it to a wish list and they'll buy later. But in most cases, because they are actively searching for a particular passion right then, they will often click right through to your website.
Yeah, and I wanted just to share really quickly just a story about a friend of mine. I was out with her. And she was playing on her phone and going through Pinterest. I mean, she didn't even know about my interest in Pinterest. And she was going through Pinterest and she was looking at bracelets and diamonds and stuff like that. And she was saving it to one of her boards on Pinterest, and I'm just curious, you know, because I like Pinterest. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she says, I'm just saving this pieces of jewelry that I like to one of my boards. And I said, oh, that's cool. She says, yeah, because I really want to buy this one. I've had my eye on this one, and so I save it to my board. So when I get home and I'm in private and I feel comfortable with pulling out my credit card, I could buy. So I'm like, holy smokes, that's what's going on with these Pinterest buyers, these folks on Pinterest. They're saving it, and they're coming back to it and buying it later. In some cases, they buy it right then if they can. So I'm like, that really, for me, brought the point home to just the immense power of Pinterest. And here's the other thing. John, and by the way, if you are, if you're selling anything online, you're going to love this. John, tell folks about the average order value.
Yeah, the average order value of sales coming from Pinterest, according to Shopify and the people that have Shopify stores, is $50. That's higher than any other major social platform. Obviously, I've seen people that sell things on Pinterest that were $1,000, but the average order on Shopify stores is $50. The major driver of online traffic, Pinterest is the #2 overall source of social media traffic to Shopify. And that, that's a lot of traffic. And 2 million people pin product pins every day. That's 20 times more people than are daily shoppers at the biggest mall in America, the Mall of America. And the other thing is that 93% of Pinterest users actually use the platform to plan purchases. That doesn't happen on Twitter. That doesn't happen on any of the other social networks. These are people that are actually planning to buy. And not only that, but they're passionate about it. They will actually reveal to you what they're passionate about. And what I found, and this is what we're going to talk about now, a little bit more in my case history, I found that the two most effective pins for me and for most people that are just starting out is to share quote graphics. These are inspirational, funny, or motivational quotes related to your product or service. And it doesn't always have to be related to your product or service. For example, the other day, there was this wonderful quote with a Peanuts cartoon on Pinterest. So I repinned it because that brings more people to my profile, and then they'll see the other boards I have, and they'll probably follow me because they like something that I'm sharing. The other thing is the typographics, and this is really the golden tool, because with typographics, it's a tall, thin graphic that features a product shot, book cover, or person, plus 5 to 20 tips. In my experience, in today's world, shorter is better. The Bob Harper one had 20 tips, but nowadays I probably do 5 to 10 because people are busier than they were 5 years ago. So the shape of a pin is 300 by 800 pixels. Think of it as sort of the size and shape of a bookmark. It can go as big as 730 by 2000 pixels if you want to, but tall and thin. It works. It really does on Pinterest. It doesn't work in other social networks because they always cut them off. But on Pinterest, you can see it. And that's really neat.
And the major reason why this tall and thin is how you want to go is, well, two reasons. The first one is it takes up the most real estate on Pinterest, so you can have more of a page, and then also they're easy to scroll if you're on a mobile device, to scroll through these longer images without having to pinch or to make them bigger or anything like that. You can see the whole thing. So again, really crucial that you do these tall and thin type of graphics. And we have the prescribed size is 300 by 800 pixels is probably about as close to perfect as you could do. But again, that's the reason why you're doing these bookmark shape graphics like this.
Yeah, so the characteristics of a typographic is tall and thin. It features condensed content from your book or sales copy for the product, or content from a blog post that you're doing, where that blog post has some content, and it also has links to several products you want to sell people. Use the colors found on the cover or the product. Feature a picture of the cover or the product, and then link to Amazon, link to your product page. I like to always blog about the product, review the product, blog about it, and pin from my blog post, which has my affiliate code. That way, the affiliate code never disappears. It never gets screwed up. And that way, I also can measure the traffic and the interest that that link is generating, because I'm monitoring my traffic and sources of my traffic all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So then, I wanted to show you, and David, I know you talked about that you have some infographics, and I hope they're not like these four on the left, because these don't work on Pinterest. And the reason
well,
for
they're not
that,
as busy as that, but they are similar to that.
but they're not as simple as the one on the right. And
Oh, mine are more like the one on the right.
okay, good, because the one on the left don't work for a very simple reason. 80 to 90% of activity on Pinterest is by mobile phone. And they can't read these.
Yeah.
You can try to make them bigger, but then you got to scroll and scroll and scroll, and big and small, and most people don't bother to do it because they're scrolling, they're looking. You know how people are on social networks. Bing, if it doesn't say what it says right away, they don't ever interact with the content. But you can see on the right how easy it is to read, and how easy it is to say, wow, I like that information. I think I'll click through and find out more.
Yeah, I said mine is more like the one on the right, but my control panel was covering up your right one. Mine is more like the one that says hashtag, pound hashtag. So
okay.
I got some work to do.
And that one, again, it's not readable on, and you may actually be able to read mine even on this presentation, but I bet you can't read any of the other ones except for maybe the headline.
John, I gotta tell you, that one is just ugly enough to make me not really all that excited about it, but man, I can see why it works.
And that's what matters. It's not what it, I always measure it by the results. And this one has driven, I think, 60,000 people to my website in the 4 years. And the really neat thing is that people are sharing it all over the internet. And that means, I have my brand down there at the bottom, bookmarketingbestsellers.com, so that, no matter where that goes, my brand is going to go with it. But in Pinterest, my link goes with that graphic. So when people repin it, it's my link that people would click through to. And that's really, really cool in terms of, the effect that it has. And, as Daniel said earlier, on these complicated infographics, people, again, on mobile phones, since so many people are doing mobile phones, that's one reason that they often share, they save the image that they want to buy, and they buy later because they're on a mobile phone. And we know mobile phones aren't necessarily safe.
Right.
So I wanted to also show you a few of the quote graphics, and so that you could see what quote graphics look like. This is one that's had over 30,000 repins. A coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. That one has done well for me. Take time to do what makes your soul happy. That's one really aimed at women. And look, 212,000 repins. And this other one is one that I created. It's all words, but it's a graphic. And so you can save word graphics like that, and people share it. 2,500 repins. So these are neat things to have. And because you can do quote graphics around anything, like this one, is the one on the right is a fitness one, and it really appeals to the audience. I became, through Pinterest, a fitness expert. One of my biggest boards is a fitness board, and people love it. So, it really helps. I love repinning good stuff on fitness because I'm now a fitness expert. You wouldn't know it by looking at me. So,
I don't know about that, John. All right, so one of the things I want to do now, if you're not looking at your screen, come look at it right now, because we're gonna get down to the brass tacks of actually setting up a passive revenue source for one of you. We teach many ways to make money on Pinterest. What I'm going to focus on today is this one here, Kindle books or Create Space books, a book on Amazon. This is actually the abbreviated form. There's a little bit more to it, or there's actually quite a bit more to it, but this will show you, and I want you to take this and use it yourself. So what we decided to do is we chose one of you, this person here, who is it? Scott W. Freeman with the Cocky Rooster.
It's a children's book.
Children's book. And we're going to actually set up a revenue source for you right now, Scott, and people follow along so you can do the same. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab the URL right up here, copy, and what the next thing I want to do is we're going to go to this site here. This is called placeit.net, placeit.net, which allows you to do mock-ups. And you could do a small size, 300 by or 400 by 300 pixels for free. So I'm going to go in here and just search for presentation. And you could kind of look at what's available here for you. And I kind of like, let's see, I did that one. I kind of like this one here. We're gonna use this one here today. Women checking out an office presentation, a mock-up. And there we go. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, actually, let's go back to this other one. I want to use another one here. Let's go back to this one right here. Yeah, we're going to use this bad boy right here. And what I want to do is I'm going to use, you see where it says screenshot from URL? I'm going to plug in that URL that we just got for Scott's book, and it's going to actually upload and do the correct size that we need. And you'll notice that a lot of these images, it says, hey, you know, load up a a certain size, but I think this looks pretty doggone good, right? This looks pretty doggone good, and you can get, again, a free one with an unlimited license like that, and then you just download it, and it's asking me, I have an account. Yep. So let's log in here so I could actually download it. There we go. You know, if you look over here, this is where they'll keep them, over here where it says My Drive, right? So that's actually getting ready, and there it is in My Drive, ready to download. So let's go ahead and download it. And I'm going to download it over here into, we'll call this Scott 1. And we'll save that bad boy, right like that. Get rid of this. Okay, so now we've got a really cool start of an image, a really cool start of the image. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to introduce you to Canva. Okay, so Canva is a free program. We actually have training on how to use it, but I'm going to very quickly show you how to actually make one of these. We're going to go to the same size that we had said earlier, which is 300 by 800 pixels. Just like that, and hit design. And here is our, nice bookmark size image. Now I'm going to come back over here to uploads. You see where I say it says uploads? And we're going to upload Scott's image right here. So there's Scott 1, just like that. Boom. Cool. So that's uploading, as you can see here. The other thing I want to do here is I want to change the background a little bit. So let's go with this one looks pretty good. I like that. And our upload should be up now. So there it is. There's Scott's book. I believe this is Scott's book right there. There it is. And we're our images, our pin is coming together here. And see how professional this looks with a professional model. It looks like Scott's book is really special. It's being featured here in this meeting. And of course, at placeit.net, you could pick other images as well. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here to this. Actually, before I do that, I want to just say here, I'm going to come over to where it says text and add a heading. And I'm going to put children's book fun. Like that. And we're going to just highlight it and change the typeface here. I don't really like any of those. Let's kind of look for something fun that would go with a kid's book, maybe like Carter 1. Looks like that to me. That looks kind of fun, nice. And we'll bring that up here, just like this. Maybe even center it. There we go, centered, good. And children's book fun. All right, cool. Now, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to come over here again, and just say the cocky rooster, and we'll put that in there. Like that. We'll need to make that a little smaller. It's a little too large for us, I think. Let's go with something like that and keep it in the same font. There we go. And come back over to the listing here on Amazon. We're going to grab this part, this little text part here, come back and add a heading, and just boom, add that in there. Oops, did I not get it? There we go. I'll bring that up. That's obviously too large, so we're going to scale that down a little bit. Something like maybe come and go to Carter 1 and come on down to maybe 12. No, that's a little too small. Let's try it at 16. Oh, that's about right. Cool, nice. Coming together. And one last thing here before we finish up our particular pin, we're going to add a little call to action, something along the lines of get it on Amazon, because that's where this particular thing is, right? So we're going to set that. Now you could put your own website in there if you wished, right? And let's make that a little smaller and bring it down here and brand it just this way. In fact, what I could do is we could actually highlight that, make it white instead, like this. And now we can bring this into down here into the dark part of the image. There we go. Cool. So there's our pin all ready to go. Children's books fun. The cocky rooster. I might want to straighten this up a little bit. Yes, yes, yes. There we go. I like that. All right. So let's go ahead and save this bad boy. Save it. And now I'm going to download it. Come back over here where it says download and PNG. Now it's going to download this for us. I'm going to put this in the same area there. Cool. All right. Now we're going to come over here, back over to Pinterest, and we're going to pin this bad boy. I'm actually going to pin it directly from Pinterest, which you could do as well. You could pin inside Pinterest or outside of Pinterest. I'm going to actually pin this from within Pinterest by going up here to this little plus button that you see here. It says upload an image. And I'm going to upload our nice image here, children's books fun. And we're going to grab the URL for Scott here, copy, just like that. And boom, we put that in there just like this. And we're going to hit continue. So now this URL to Scott's book is going to be attached to that particular image. We're going to continue. Now over here, we could tell us about this book. So let's say a little something about it. Get the Cocky Rooster Fun Kids Book on Amazon. Your kids will love it. And if I wanted to, I could actually even put the URL for it on Amazon in here as well. So that's what I'll do. And I'm just going to add this to my articles and resources. And let's see. And there we go. It's all ready to go. It's all ready to, well, let's go ahead and see it now on that particular board. And there it is. And if I click on this bad boy, it's going to take us right to Scott's book. Boom, just like that. Okay, so just like that, now Scott has a brand new passive revenue source out there working for him, and you could do the same. And by the way, does this work? Well, let me show you the money. Here I asked John to kind of take a little snapshot of just one of his book accounts, and you can see here, you know, basically he's making between $130 to $185 a month on Amazon, as well as about $600-700 a month again from Pinterest. And you know, here's the thing. And this is the beautiful thing, and one of the reasons why I love Pinterest is it's all on autopilot, right? It just comes in. You can't turn off the money. That's the kind of business that I love, right? That's the kind of business that you aspire to be in. Believe me, that's what you want. And the really cool thing here is that this is not just work for us, but it has worked for many, many of our students. For example, Felicitas here says, I'm happy to report I recovered more than I paid for the first version of this Real Fast Pinterest course, the course you're getting into right now, by being an affiliate. And I love the last thing she says here. It's a set it and forget it kind of thing, really. Right? So that's so powerful, and one of the reasons why I'm so happy that you are here. In fact, it mean the money could get really big doing this. Our friend Dennis Kashkin, who contributed to this course, he is the founder, CEO, and developer of a site called Board Booster. And he said, and he works with some of the biggest brands and some of the top bloggers. And he says some people earn up to $50,000 per month just blogging and pinning. So if you've got a blog at all, you're going to definitely love the Real Fast Social Graphics program. So let me just ask you, are you excited that you have finally found a way to build your business on autopilot? Let us know in the chat. Let us hear from you. I mean, if you could see this for yourself in your business, let me see it. Okay. Awesome. Cool. Love it. Love it. Thank you so much, Jen and Scott and Barbara and Kim and Matthew and Bill and George. Excellent. Very excited. Anne Marie. Awesome. All right. So I wanted to take a moment and talk about our completely updated Real Fast Social Graphics program. And what this is all about is it is really a total system for Pinterest success. And the best thing is that this system is specifically designed for folks like you or I, right? Folks that are not graphic designers. Maybe you're a beginning marketer, maybe you're even an intermediate marketer, but the really cool thing here is that you don't have to be a graphic designer, and you don't have to be this hotshot marketer to make Pinterest work for you. I mean, if you can do that stuff, so much the better. Great. If you can make pretty images, great. If you're a hotshot marketer, so much the better. But you don't need it to make this work. And that's what we're all about, is helping you master money making on Pinterest. That's what this whole course is about. And the first thing that we focus on is building images that practically beg to be shared over and over and over again, just like with your link. All right, and that's what happened to John. I mean, you know, the Bob Harper thing is still going, still bringing him traffic, still today. And that's what we're talking about, building images that look like that have this high propensity to actually be shared, pinned, repinned, reshared over and over and over again. And of course, your link follows it all along. Then here's the other thing. We show you how to repin for even more money, because the fact is that you could repin a lot faster than what I just did. Although, how long did it take me to make a pin for you there? About 5 minutes, maybe. But you could actually do a lot of good with just repinning existing images that also get maximum sharing and clicks. And of course, this is a huge time saver and money saver because the pin is already created. Okay, but you're going to repin in different ways than the normal person does. You're going to do it the smart, the savvy way, the way that's going to make you money. Okay, and that's the other thing. Oh, we didn't even mention this in the presentation, but the really cool thing is what you could do on Pinterest in your niche is you could figure out what trends are going on in your particular niche, whatever niche you're serving or want to serve. You can actually figure out what is going to be hot in the future by using Pinterest, because it's hot on Pinterest before it's hot in the general population. So keep that in mind. And then, of course, using these trends to drive traffic to your buy buttons and offers. Okay, really important that you understand that this is a big part of Pinterest, is finding out what the trends are and riding those waves. Not trying to swim against them, but riding with them. That's how money is made. That's how the big money is made. And if you do have any kind of an e-commerce store, mamma mia. If you're on Amazon, if you're on Etsy, if you have a eBay store or a Shopify store, or if you sell affiliate products that are e-commerce based, this is the perfect match to help launch those products and make money long term, both in the short term and the long term. That's the beautiful thing about it. And then here's the other thing, lest you worry about, like I say here, creating effective pins for the tragically unrealistic, or excuse me, unartistic like John and I. So we actually show you how to make pretty good looking pins, not great, but pretty good enough in programs that you probably already have, like PowerPoint or MS Word, or programs that you can use for free, like Pablo in TypeSlab. Okay, so you get that as well. And the other thing is that I realize that we're all super busy. We're all we need to squeeze more benefit out of the same time and the same effort. And that's one of the reasons why we show you how to profit on just 5 minutes a day on Pinterest. That's it. 5 minutes a day. You don't have to be, we all sit down at Facebook and spend hours sometimes and nothing ever gets done. Nope, that's not the way we roll here. And we show you how to get maximum benefit from the minimum amount of time. Also, you're going to love this. You're going to absolutely love this. If you're an author or an expert, or you want to build your authorship or expert status, there are some very smart people. Folks like Brian Tracy, Tony Robbins, Janet Ivanovich, who's a novelist, even Joanna Basford. Johanna Basford, you know what her claim to fame is? She is a huge coloring book author. And she does really, really well, again, using Pinterest to do exactly that. And even bloggers like the Brown Sugar Food blog, a huge as a part of her her strategy to bring new readers to her blog and to see her offers. And of course, James Patterson. So there's this is a great place to be, to build your author and or expert status if that's what you're looking to do. And then, John, I'd really like you to tell folks about group boards. I wrote here, group boards equals group love, because this is another very interesting part of Pinterest that we show folks how to make money with, how to harness. John, can you tell folks about group boards?
Yeah, Daniel, one of the nice things about group boards is that it's a great way to make friends or to increase the value of your friendship with people. For example, I created a board on blogging and internet marketing, and I was just posting to it myself. And then I decided, because any board you have, you can start to make it a group board simply by inviting other collaborators. That's what Pinterest calls them. I call them group members. They're people that are part of the group and will pin to the group. And the neat thing is, so like with this blogging and internet marketing, I invited some of my friends like Mike Koenigs, Jason Fladian, Joel Comm, and about 40 or 50 other people, including Daniel Hall. Somehow he got in there.
I don't know. How did you let the riffraff in?
I don't know. But anyway, the neat thing is that when you create your own group board, you control the board. So that means you control the image that goes with it. You can see the red arrow there pointing to the image, which again is promoting this particular course. And this is actually a screenshot from Joel Comm's Pinterest profile. So you can see how my board is showcased on his profile. That means I'm going to get a lot more traffic to my site, a lot more people liking me and wanting to follow me as well. And it is, as I said in the beginning, it's a great way to create relationships and nourish them. So let's say that you write romance novels and you decide to create a romance novel board, and you invite 5 other romance novelists to join in with you to collaborate on that board and pin to it. And now you're all supporting each other, and that's a really neat way to nourish each other and help each other to sell. So I like group boards, and the neat thing is I really recommend you not only to create a couple group boards of your own, but also to join other people's group boards, because that's how you get greater exposure on Pinterest. And that means more people will find you, more people will follow you, and more people will repin you.
Yeah, and that actually leads right into one of our exclusive bonuses that is actually for Board Booster software. So there is, as I said, Dennis Kashkin is a friend of ours, did a very special deal for our members that allows you to automate some parts of the process. And now you don't need this, but it's dang nice to have. Plus, Dennis actually works again with some of the largest brands, and he knows some of the best practices. And here's the good thing: you pull in close. Dennis shared some of these secret strategies that some of the big brands and big bloggers use to get lots of clicks on Pinterest and through Pinterest, and you get that as well as a 3-month free access to his automated software called Board Booster, and even a deal where it's only $5 a month thereafter. If you don't like it, you could leave. But if you do love it, which I think you will, it's only $5 a month thereafter. So definitely something that's really affordable with that. And then that's the other thing that, I talk a lot about collaborating. I talk a lot about doing joint ventures. And the really nice thing about Pinterest is you could actually build a tribe of collaborators, thus turbocharging the peer-to-peer sharing so that your pin, along with your link, of course, gets shared even faster to a wider group of potential buyers, okay? So you're gonna get that as well, okay? You're gonna get that as well. Ooh, and you're gonna love this. This is pretty cool, I gotta say. Pretty proud of this. Because in addition to that, you're also going to get how to piggyback traffic on daily television shows, okay? So we're going to show you exactly how to know what guests are going to be on a particular show in the future and how to actually capitalize that on Pinterest so that you're the one with the pins for who's ever being featured on, the next, my next guest with David Letterman or whatever, okay? So we show you how to ride that wave, okay? That general awareness that happens because of a major media outlet like Dr. Oz or Ellen happen to be interviewing a particular author or somebody that's in your niche. So you're going to get that as well. And I got to tell you that this one thing alone is worth the admission, just this one thing. But you're going to get it along with the you're going to get that along with the training as well. And of course, you're going to get our help. So this is not just another course where here's your login, goodbye. We don't roll like that at all. As a matter of fact, what we have done is we have formed a members only private Facebook group that, get this, you get lifetime access to. Okay, and as you can see down over here, we already have 800 people in this group. So it's already a pretty stout group as it is. We could definitely charge a subscription, and we might in the future. But you're going to be grandfathered. You're going to get this as a part of your purchase today. Then the other thing I wanted to tell you about are these bonuses, because if you really want to hit the ground running, if you want to start like today, like literally within 5 minutes of getting into the members area, you can get this Canva training and this done for you training as well, and with the Pinterest templates that come with it. So this is actually templates within Canva that you can get in and change, and there's video training on how to go about using that and making all of that what you need it to be, so that you can start to get it out and working. So you get that as well. And I wanted to just highlight, again, we've had lots of successful students come through this program, but here's one thing that Judith said, and I highlighted it here. I just discovered that traffic to my Proofread NZ website has, as of the 30th of November, tripled from my very consistent, get this, my very consistent 8-year performance level. So yeah, this stuff absolutely works. And if you are interested in Facebook, we've got training for you on that as well. We have the Facebook marketing for authors and experts and how to get more fans. So you're going to get that as an additional bonus, plus the Twitter Mania Manual, the secret to building an incredibly fanatical following on Twitter. So you're going to get that, as well as how to use LinkedIn to promote yourself as an author or expert and find promotional partners and build long-lasting and useful relationships. Taken together, this is a social marketing suite for basically folks like you and I. Okay, authors, marketers, publishers, information product creators, course creators, internet marketers, and experts. Okay, that's who this was created for. Okay, now I will tell you, I know some of you are saying, well, Danny, I'd love to get in on this. What's the price? Well, the sale price as of right now is $497, but this is not your investment. This is not your investment. As a matter of fact, if you were to go over right now to the link that's in your chat, this one right here, as a matter of fact, let me put that link in the chat. David put the link in the chat. So if you go to that link in the chat, let me know that link, whether that link works. Would you let me know whether that link works? So go over there and click on the link and let me know in the chat whether that link works. That's where you can get a very special deal for those who act now. Okay, so if you could hear the sound of my voice and you want a whopping big discount, head on over there right now and grab this very, very special deal that we have for you. Okay, and I'm being told that the link absolutely works. Awesome, cool. All right. And I kind of wanted to put this in perspective for you because when you go to that link that we have for you there in the chat or at nams.ws./profitable pins, you'll see that the investment is super low, very low. But to kind of put this in the value in perspective, John is getting approximately 4,000 free clicks a week from Pinterest. A week. Okay. What would your business, can you imagine your business if you were getting that volume of traffic to your offers? And I just pull the number. Hey, if I sometimes advertise on Facebook, and I would love to get a 25-cent click. I never have gotten a 25-cent click. But even if I could, that'd be $1,000 a week that John's getting for free. And here's the thing: the traffic just keeps on coming. So the place to go to grab this very special deal is right there in the chat. If you're here with us live, if you're on a rebroadcast or a replay, the link is directly below where you are now watching. Go ahead and grab it right now while the grabbing is good, while you can still get the very best price available. And then the other thing I wanted to tell you is we're going to continue to deliver for you. John has been in business for over 30 years, and I've been in business for over 10 years now. And one of the reasons why I love working with David, is because he and I and John, we all kind of share the same philosophy. And that is, we know our success is directly related to yours. That's why we've had so much staying power and why you will not be alone in your journey to a more profitable business. In addition to that, you can trust us as well because our business is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. So the place to go to grab this very special deal, the link is in your chat, or head to nams.ws profitable pins. Okay, that's the link, or go to the link in your chat right now. And I want to bring John back on here for just a second, because this is a big doggone deal. In fact, this is actually this bonus that John's about to describe. Think about it as more valuable than the entire course itself. John, can you tell folks about how our students exclusively get essentially what is in effect an instant audience?
Yes, I created 4 specific group boards that I'm happy to invite anybody that signs up for this course to be part of. And all of the boards have at least 5,000 to 6,000 followers already. So you already will get a lot of exposure by pinning to them. One of them is tips, which allows you to share typographics that you've created, typographics other people have created, and so on. I also have one called Great Gifts for Women. And because I really want to help people to sell to women. I also have one for Great Gifts for Men, so that's targeted only to men. And then the 4th one, so there's 4 of them that you can join. The other one's called Motivational and Inspirational Quotes. So a lot of the things we've been teaching you already in this thing, these will apply to that, and it will really give you an instant audience boost from the very day you joined this program.
Awesome. Yes. And the other thing I wanted folks to understand is that this basically allows you to plug in. How many folks in your audience right now, John? About what, 25,000?
Over 25,000 on Facebook itself. I mean, on Pinterest itself. And then, of course, the boards themselves have anywhere from 5,000 to 6,000 followers, so that you have, immediate impact right away.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to just highlight that John is definitely no slouch when it comes to helping some superstars. Like, we want to help you. For example, he took Deepak Chopra. Maybe you've heard of Deepak Chopra. Basically, from a Vanity Press author to being a New York Times bestseller 8 times over. Okay. By the way, the place to go grab this very special deal, that link is in the chat for all of us that are here live with us. Or if you're on a rebroadcast or a replay, the link is directly below where you are now watching. Or if you need to, go to nams.ws/profitable pins. And I also wanted to highlight our good friend and fellow NAMS instructor, Joel Comm, because Joel says Kramer's the go-to guy for marketing books, but he says not only are Kramer's tips and resources excellent for promoting books, but you can use many of the techniques and strategies for promoting a wide variety of other goods and services. Highly recommended. So the place to go right there, nams.ws/profitable pins. Head on over there right now and grab this very special deal. And I know some of you are saying, well, Daniel, how quickly can we expect a return? How quickly can we see results? Well, I wanted to just highlight Rhonda here, another one of our students, who says, results update. Yesterday, July 2nd, I enrolled in the course, watched the video, and started implementing. The doing part was late in the afternoon. I had no Pinterest traffic for the last month. So no surprise, as I hadn't used it as a source. But drum roll, please. 23.5% of my traffic yesterday came from Pinterest. So basically, she had a 25% increase in her traffic in one day. In one day. Okay. So yeah, the place to go right there in your chat. It will take you to exactly where you need to go at nams.ws/profitable pins. So the time to get questions answered. And by the way, I will also say before we get into the questions here that the best available price is the one that's here right now. If you can hear the sound of my voice right now, that means you are getting the very best available price, and I can't guarantee that it's going to, or how long it will last. So if you've made the decision to go ahead and grab this very special deal, head on over there right now and get it while the getting is good. Okay, do we have questions?
Yes, Daniel, we have a bunch of questions. I've been answering them more or less, but one thing that it's a good question Rick asked is, why is the tall and skinny recommendation for the typographic? It's not just for typographics. Tall and skinny works best on Pinterest, not just because of cell phones being vertically oriented, but because taller and thinner stands out. It gives you more real estate on Pinterest, so a greater chance that people will see it versus horizontal pins or square pins. Any of those can work, but the tall and thin gives you more real estate.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Jan asked, is it possible to go back and add a link to a previous pinned image? Any image that you've pinned, you can change the link at any time you want. You can go back and edit it and change it. So if you've got a pin that's going, it's getting a lot of interest, and you originally pinned it to, a plain old blog post, and now you want to send people that traffic to, something really good, like a sales page or a sign-up page or something like that, you can change the link anytime.
Yep.
So John, I've got a question for you. So when you post on Pinterest and you share to Facebook, does your link travel with it?
Your link travel when you with Pinterest, if you pin, you can also share it on Facebook and Twitter, and the link to your pin goes with that.
Perfect.
So then they would go to the pin, and then they would click on the pin and go to your website.
Yeah, so it's always driving back to your Money Hub that way.
That is absolutely correct, because that's what you want it to do.
That's right.
And it's true. Even if you're doing a product that you want to pin, the better you're going to get more impact if it's a tall and thin photo. Now, if you've got, let's say, cars don't lend themselves to tall and thin. So the thing that I've seen that people do with cars is they make an image that has 4 or 5 views of that car, so that then the image becomes tall and thin because it's actually got 4 images in the one image.
So I'm sitting here on my phone as we're doing this, looking. I've got an iPhone 7, and I'm just sitting here. It's a 7 Plus, so it's a fairly big screen. But I'm noticing that everything that is here, the tall and thin, is really popular, and you punch it and you can scroll on that one. But I'm also seeing a lot that are the size of your iPhone screen, and that seems to be really popular as well.
That is, and that size is about 2 by 3. In other words, two units. 200
pixels by 300 or 300 by 600, yeah.
Yeah, something like that, and those do work. And there's no question that they fit on the screen. But the reality is that I've seen is that even taller and thinner gets more, and that's still true today. So, that's one really nice thing about it that I like.
Excellent.
And by the way, I want to start thanking, I don't know, you might be able to hear them in the background, but I want to start thanking folks for joining us. We have quite a few folks that have joined us already. So I want to send a big thank you to you all. And again, the place to go is right there at nams.ws.profitable pins. It's much better if you're here live with us to click on the link below, or that's in the chat. So yeah, that, and David just put it in there again for us. That will take you to David's affiliate link, and so David will get proper credit. And that's the best way to do that. Okay. So other questions here. Oh, by the way, for those folks that have already taken action on this, I would like to ask you a favor. I would like for you to tell me, and tell everyone actually, what you hope to get out of this Real Fast Social Graphics training and coaching program that we have for you. What is it that you want out of it? And let us know in the chat why you made the decision to buy today. That's also always helpful for other folks that might be on the fence thinking about it, and it also lets us know, hey, we like this, or we need to focus more on that. So it helps all of us. So if you do that, I really appreciate that as well.
So
okay?
Daniel, can I say one more thing about this?
Yeah.
So I've heard for years about Pinterest, and that Pinterest had the highest value of a customer, and that Pinterest was a great source of traffic. But I was always a little bit hesitant to do Pinterest because I was concerned about creativity, about finding the right images, about all that kind of stuff. And what you guys have gone through today really just clears that up immediately. And so now I'm really excited to getting started with Pinterest, because the thing that attracts me the most about this is that set it and forget it traffic. I haven't seen anything with this kind of longevity from traffic in a long time. Even email, we send email 3 to 4 times a day now because it scrolls off the screen.
Yep. Exactly.
I'm really looking forward to this.
And again, as you saw, and I think one of the things that appealed to you was that it's so easy to create graphics that are very effective in Pinterest. You don't have to be complicated. And you know, those infographics that we showcased earlier probably took hours or sometimes days to create, and my typographics 5-10 minutes and I'm done.
Well, you're making me feel bad about mine.
Well, that's good.
Don't feel bad.
That's good. That's good. I'm just gonna let somebody else do it
right
now.
time, David. This is you all are. I mean, that's the really cool thing. And I wanted to share what Barbara, who is one of the many folks that joined us here today, what she wrote. And for all the new folks, we had a whole rash of new folks that just jumped in as well. I'd like for you to go to the questions box and just type in why you want to, what you're hoping to get out of this training, and why you made the decision to jump in today. And I will remind everyone that's here with us live, if you are here with us live, or you could hear the sound of my voice, now is the best time to go ahead and grab this very special deal. This is going to be the best price. So if you've made the decision to go ahead and grab it, I would strongly recommend that you do it right now. And join Barbara. Barbara says that she joined us to help speed up marketing my products, and also, oh, thank you, also to become an affiliate for this product. Yay!
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I love it. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate you sharing that with the rest of the community here. Oh, by the way, I should say that one of the first things I'd like for you to do once you get into the members area is go join the Facebook group. There's a big button you'll see, and I just let folks in because we check. It's just members only, and we let folks in. So I'll approve your request here, you know, in within an hour of the webinar ending. But that's the first thing I'd really like for you to go do, so you don't miss out on the interactions going on there. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
What other questions we have?
Let's talk about list building, if you don't mind, because just for a second, because our goal for this, well, for the last 2 months of the year was to double our list. We worked really hard on doubling our list in traditional ways, and we missed it by 50%. We did really well by gaining 50% of our list, but it looks to me like this is a really, really good way of driving people to an exit pop on your site or something like that.
In fact, we actually show people how some people are doing it, like Brian Tracy. In the course, we show you exactly how to do it and how he's doing it, and it's very effective. He's grown up to a list of, I think, something like 130,000 people. And a lot of that, he's very active on Pinterest, so it's a really effective tool for him in terms of getting people to a sign-up page. And again, he does what everybody else does when they get to the sign-up page, offer something free.
Sure.
And that works very effectively for him because he posts a lot of inspirational quotes, and you're going, well, how are inspirational quotes related to anything I'm doing? And the thing is that people love them on Pinterest, and they will click through on it, and you can take them to a sign-up page.
So
and Brian does that very effectively, because he shares a lot of inspirational stuff, and it all goes to his sign-up page.
It looks like you can do GIF on Pinterest as well.
You can, and I have not found it to be as effective in driving traffic. I have not found videos to be as effective in driving traffic, except for one gut-busting video that I shared. Don't know why that one was there, but most of the videos don't work that well. It's really the typographics, the actual images. People don't spend as much time watching videos on Pinterest. They're looking for things they want to buy, and so they're not going to waste their time watching a video.
So John, what you're saying, and I love this, is the simpler you do it, the better.
And that's it. You don't complicate it. Too many people on Pinterest have complicated what they do and how to do it and things like that. And to me, it's just get up some good pins, some things that, useful tips via typographic, and traffic will come to you, and it'll continue to come to you for like for me now, over 5.5 years.
It's amazing. It just blows my mind. I mean, this is you know me, David. I don't just jump, but when and John kept pestering me about this. He says, you need to take a look at Pinterest. You need to take a look at Pinterest. And I think at that point there maybe had been a year that went by when John and I would be at conferences speaking at it, and he'd say, hey, have you looked at Pinterest? Let me show you what's going on with it. And then he showed me his numbers, and I'm like, I'm missing the boat. Well, I don't want to miss the boat anymore. And that's exactly what I'm feeling. That's why I want for folks here, not to miss the boat, right? Not to miss.
So let me just say one more thing about this too, and that is you brought it up. I mean, I do know you, and people know me. You don't get on a webinar with us unless you deliver the goods, and we do very few webinars. And I was really excited to do this one with you guys because it was a topic that we don't cover, and I knew that there was something here that I needed to take advantage of. And so I learn as my people learn, and I wanted to make sure that people jump in on this and learn with us. I think this is going to be one of our main list building and traffic driving methods going forward.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for both of those things.
Exactly. And here, let me. I think Carnisa was asking where the Facebook area is. So let me just show you. Here's the interior of the members area, and if it's right up here, do you see? If you just sort of look across the top of the page here, this is where you're going to want to go. You just click that link. It's going to take you to Real Fast Social Graphics and ask to join. Okay. So that's how that is done. Look forward to seeing you in there. Okay. By the way, so we're coming up here very shortly, and we're going to be ending very shortly. So if you have some other question that is going to help you make the decision as to whether you're going to want to do this or not, please get it into the Q&A box right now. And if you've made the decision, head on over there right now to grab this very special deal. Join all these folks that have already taken action. It's if you're here live with us, that link is in the chat area. The reason, by the way, I keep saying it's in the chat is because that link in the chat is actually clickable. So you don't have to worry about opening up a browser window, typing all this in. If you just go to the chat, click on that link, it will open up a browser for you, and then you can just go through the rest of the sign up process that way. And if you're on a rebroadcast or a replay, the link is directly below where you are now watching. Yeah, you definitely want to get over there ASAP to grab this before we go off air, because I can tell you the deal is going to last at least as long as we are on air here. Okay, so grab it right now. Okay, so
Daniel, I got to tell you, people are really jumping in on this. That's great.
Yeah, and I want to thank you for that. I want to thank everyone that's very wisely jumped in on this, because I'll tell you, for the teeny tiny minuscule investment in yourself and in your business, this can really change things for you and really get your money making apparatus in high gear. And I look at my Facebook when I advertise on Facebook, and I look at my bills from Facebook. I go, Mamma mia! You know, I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but you're like, wow. And then I go back to Pinterest.
No, that's great. I was just experiencing that this morning.
Yeah. So the place to go right there, nams.ws/profitable pins. But if you're here with us live, again, that link is in the chat. Let's see. Bill is asking, do you recommend promoting pins or just posting and pinning more? What do you say to that, John?
Very simple. I don't use promotion. I've never paid for anything on Pinterest. It's all been free, and I like it that way. I get enough traffic that way. Why should I pay for it? The people that pay for it because they don't know how to use Pinterest. But if you learn how to use Pinterest and the kind of graphics that work and the kind of things that work, there's no reason for you to pay. But I am going to test it out just to see, because people keep asking, should I use promoted pins? And quite honestly, I don't. I've never have. And I've gotten all that traffic not by paying for it, but by providing good content and putting it up there.
Yeah. Right. And then, yeah, thank you for that, John. It really does come down to useful, fun content. That's really kind of what it's all about. And Cindy says, this is great, guys. Thank you so much for that, Cindy. I really appreciate that. And Bill or Janice asked, is there a replay? That is certainly the intention. That we'll have a replay, but there is no guarantee that that the tech gods will smile on us. So the best time to act is right now, okay, for a variety of reasons. You definitely want to get to that link in the chat and get checked out before we're off this webinar. That will ensure your very best price. Okay.
And Daniel, that's a good question that came up by Manmohan. I don't know how to pronounce his name. If you repin an image, doesn't it just share the link of the person you're repinning? And the question, the answer is yes. And that's actually good, because this is a share economy platform. And if you're going to be a good social citizen, you should share some people's things. Obviously, most of my pins are original pins. But I do repin things because that's part of my obligation, is to support them, and they will support me by repinning my images. And so I feel good about sharing somebody's money image, because that means that they're getting value from Pinterest, and I like that. If I see a good product and I don't sell it and I can't become an affiliate of it for whatever reason, I'm just going to repin it.
No, it's really all about value when it comes to that. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, we have a whole new group of people that have joined us, and I want to welcome you to the Real Fast social graphics training and coaching program. Thank you so much for that. And if you would do us all a favor, let us know in the chat why you have decided to join us. What are you hoping to get out of the training? What is it your intention? Why did you make the decision to jump in today? We'd really appreciate hearing from you on that. And if you have any additional questions or anything that might be hanging you up, like I don't know, this sounds good, but it's not for me. I really need to know X.
Well, Vic
let
has
us
a
know.
question. Vic has a question. He says, so the money is made by selling products you have created, or is this all affiliate marketing? And the answer, it's both. It's whatever you want it to be. If you want to sell products directly, books, ebooks, other products, Pinterest will help you do that. If you want to sell affiliate products, you can do that as well. And I've done both.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy to do both. If I find a good affiliate product, I'm going to share it on Pinterest. I'm first going to blog about it. I'm going to write about it, write a good review so that people can get a really good feeling for the product. And then I will pin it from my blog post so that when people come back, they're going to come to that blog post that sells them even more on the product or the affiliate product and the link to actually get them to buy it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So let me just tell you quickly before we get out of here how I'm going to use this, and I'll be using this. What's today? Thursday. I'll have probably 15 of these things up by Monday, because what you've told me today is gold. We have 24 new lead generation things that we're running in a contest through next week, and it's out there today. We're thinking of ways to drive traffic to those lead gen things. And so kind of to Rick's question about, do you sell things on this? I'm not interested in selling right now. I'm interested in getting people on my list. So I'll be creating one of those typographics for each one of the lead gens in the very rudimentary style and getting them on Pinterest.
And you're right, David. I mean, it's the traffic, it's the, any good internet marketer knows the money is in the list. It's not in selling a one-time product. It's in building the list. And Pinterest does this so incredibly well and really targeted, because you can really target the particular audience by the boards that you create and the repins that people create to their boards. And David, as a bonus to this seminar, I just followed you on Pinterest.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, John.
Oh boy, that's great. That's great. Okay, and I want to also share with everyone what Kim wrote. She says that she got in today because she wants to leverage what I can do and earn money from it and reach more people to help them improve their health. And by the way, that's perfect, because that's a big part of a big niche within and on Pinterest is the health niche. So that works out really well. Awesome. Kim says she's a health coach. Awesome. Then I'm so glad that you're here today and that you decided to invest in yourself. Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Kim. All right. Cindy says that that she got in today because I want to share with my mastermind group tonight. I have 3 to 5 courses to take action and finish first, so I have to catch this one the next time. But there is a way for me to share the replay link with the group. Let me know. We definitely will. She says, I joined because I don't know how to make money, and of course, free traffic generation is truly golden. So welcome to you, Cindy. She says, I will definitely try your tips and build my list while I solidify my product offering. Yay! I love responses like that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Cindy. I really appreciate it. And for those of you that are still sitting on the fence, you've not yet taken action, head on over to the link here in the chat or go to https://nams.ws/profitable pins. Or if you're on a rebroadcast or replay, the link is right below where you are now watching. By the way, I should say the folks watching on a rebroadcast or a replay, that there is likely a countdown timer at the top of the page. Please act before that countdown timer ticks down to 0. Okay, because you could definitely get this course later, but it's going to be a lot more money. So if you want it, I strongly recommend that you go ahead and grab it right now. Okay, yeah, okay, cool. Let's see, other questions. Have we answered all the questions?
No, we haven't.
Okay, what else? Well, what other questions do we have from folks?
One person wanted to know, Bill wanted to know whether or not to use shortened URLs or full ones. And quite honestly, you can use either. It depends on how it fits on your graphic, or it fits in, because in Pinterest, when you add, like when you upload an image to Pinterest and you add your URL, it can be as long as you need it to be to get them to the right page. And you don't have to use shortened, and I wouldn't in that case, because I want it to go directly to my link. I don't want any pass-through. Now, when you're doing a link in an image that you're creating and you just want to add your branding at the bottom, again, I would use my branding rather than a shortened URL. The shortened URL is probably most effective when you want to send people to, like I do, Amazon, AMZ2 and whatever. I use shortened links for Amazon rather than the long ones they give you if you're an affiliate. But for everything else, I use the longer link because it includes my branding.
And I'll make a case for a short link here. And the reason for for that is that we use branded short links like nams.ws so that we can switch people to a different page if we find that the page we sent them to was not working.
Yes, but you can do that in Pinterest itself.
I understand, but you got to go back to it. I can just go to my hub and do that on my phone.
I have my own exclusive shortened link as well that I often use because I can remember it. Yeah. For my key products, I know what it is, and I don't have to figure out the long link that goes to my my actual sales program. So
sure, but the point that I really want to make, John, is that either way works.
Either way works, and that's how I started it off.
That's right.
So both works. It's perfectly fine. There's no reason that you do one over the other, unless, like David, he wants to go to his hub and change the link. Now somebody asked, is there a time span, how Kim did, on how often you should pin something new? Can you pin new things too much? And if you're doing like 50 pins a day, you're probably doing too much. You're abusing the people that are following you. I recommend, you can do Pinterest very, very effectively on 1 to 3 pins a day, or 1 a day. But I recommend not doing more than 20 pins or repins a day. That's my recommendation.
That kind of sounds like 15 minutes a day on Pinterest will do you.
Yes, in fact, even 5 minutes a day will do you, and you'll see traffic. And that's the thing that's really the magic about it, is it doesn't take a lot of effort. And it's a whole thing again of set and forget too. I mean, there have been months sometimes when I forget about Pinterest and I didn't do anything, but I was still getting hundreds and hundreds of people coming to my website from Pinterest.
Well, I love that.
Yeah, and then the really cool thing, especially for students of Real Fast Social Graphics, is you get to plug into John, and he's already got this really stout base of an audience that you could springboard from, and that's a big, really a big doggone deal. And one of the things, one of the main reasons why this is such an incredibly reasonable offer. Especially when you head on over to nams.ws/profitable pins, because that comes part and parcel with it. That's one of the great benefits we provide to our students and clients. So yeah, and we're about to wrap up here. So.
And that's one reason I created those 4 groups, because part of the thing is, you're a member of the group I ask you to repin other members of the group onto other specific boards you have on your own profile, and I ask people that join my groups that they repin each other, because
Oh,
that's how we benefit each other.
that's kind of like a round robin promotion. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, and it's a kind thing to do, and both will benefit. And I always like a win-win proposition.
That's great. That's great.
Okay. So
Well,
are
Daniel,
there
I think we've come to the end of the
last
questions.
Yes. I haven't seen any others come through.
Okay, well, David, I really appreciate it. So we'll give folks one last chance to grab this very special deal. So head on over to that link in the chat if you're here with us live. If you're on a rebroadcast or a replay, the link is directly below, right where you are now watching, or head over to https://NAMS .ws/profitable pins. Okay, so head on over there now, and if you've got any burning questions that you really want answered, it's going to help you make your decision whether you're gonna jump in today or not. Time to get them in is right now, because we're ticking on down. We've been here almost 2 hours today, and the time to do it is right now. And David, thank you. As always, I love working with you, and I love doing stuff with you. It's always so much fun, and you're always such a class act, and I really appreciate that about you.
Thank you very much, Daniel, and as well with you. Are you going to be on the cruise this year?
I haven't planned to be. No.
Yeah, I'm not making it either, and I was just going to say we'll have to do something soon so we can get hooked up again. It's been a while.
It has, in fact.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys doing this.
We have one more question coming in.
Oh, good.
That might help Carinza make a decision. She says, is it possible to use PLR items?
Oh.
The answer to that, yes, because chances are most of the people on Pinterest aren't inundated with PLR. And so if it's a good topic, they'll probably buy. So it's perfectly okay for you to sell PLR as well as any original creations you've created or any affiliate products you have. All of those things work on Pinterest and work well. The nice thing about Pinterest, there's a couple of things. 80% of the active people are women between the ages of about 30 to 55. So it's a neat thing about that is that's the same demographics of people who buy books. 80% of all books are bought by women between those ages. So you've got an incredible target audience, and most of the people on Pinterest are not members of internet marketing email lists and things like that, because they've never seen the opportunity. But if they see a good product, they're going to buy it, and chances are they haven't been introduced to it before.
Excellent point. Excellent point. All right. Well, thank you very much, guys, once again for being here and doing this for our group. And if you haven't taken advantage of this yet, please jump on that link that's in the chat box right now, and we will catch you on the flip side on this. Thank you, Daniel. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And we'll keep this up for a couple more minutes so folks can go to this link as well. And thank you, David, for the opportunity. And John, once again, thank you. I want to thank each and every one of you that stuck with us to the very end. I'll just tell you that this can really, really help you if you will get in and actually do it. And by the way, this is kind of a side benefit of Pinterest and working with Pinterest, is it's actually fun. I mean, it's a fun platform to work with and engage with, and that just makes it all the sweeter. It's kind of icing on the cake. So the place to go right now, go ahead and grab this very special deal while you still can. https://nams.ws/profitable pins. We'll keep that link in the chat for a few more minutes, and You can just click on it from there. And once again, thank you. And we will see all of you in the members area and the Facebook group. We'll see you then.
Thanks. Appreciate it.